Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Table Flippers Podcast, Ministry of Greater Works Christian Church, right here in beautiful Lancaster, California. I am your host, Robert Enos. Here I will discuss theology, doctrine, politics, social and cultural issues, pretty much anything I feel like talking about. But basically, I flip tables. Please remember to download each episode. That's very important. Download each episode. Hold on tight. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Well, here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go again. I have something that I want to read to you and just talk to you about. You know, I was talking to you about the derailed trains, and then I briefly spoke about the videos that were being released from the January 6th fiasco there in Washington, D.C., the supposed violent insurgents and takeover of the Capitol building, which was hardly anything but. Why? Because now we can actually see the videos. It's so interesting to me that for the past 26 months, that's how long this has been, 2 years, 2 months, since that January 6th, 2021 event, that we've been hearing from the media and from our elected officials about just how horrible it was, how violent it was, how destructive it was, how these people were trying to take over the Capitol, take over the United States of America. Oh my gosh, if they had that building, they would own America. Well, maybe they didn't quite put it that way, but that's kind of the way they wanted us to believe it and understand it. And then when they released these videos, finally, thank you, Kevin McCarthy, for doing that, and Tucker Carlson for airing some of those, because if it wasn't for this happening, we, the American people, would not know what's going on. And by the way, just so you know, the mere fact that these videos weren't released, and what I found out is not only were they not released to the public, to people like you and I, the people that were being charged with these crimes weren't even allowed to see this supposed evidence that was being used against them. So they couldn't even see the video that they said proved that it was a violent insurgency. And by the way, that goes against their constitutional rights. So the Democrats, once again, ladies and gentlemen, the Democrats, the liberals who are pushing this whole committee and this whole push to round up these people and throw them all away. Because remember, these were all MAGA people. Trump supporters, and they were going to take over America. They weren't even given their constitutional rights by being able to see the video and the evidence and such, supposedly, that was against them. And now we know why, ladies and gentlemen. Now we know why the unconstitutional Democrats and liberals, those who hate the Constitution except when they want to use it in their favor, we know why they did not follow the words of the Constitution and the rights spoken of there and show these videos before, especially to those who were being charged and committed. Why? Why were they breaking the Constitution? Did they completely go against the Bill of Rights and the rights of the people? Well, because it would have completely creamed the narrative that they were trying to push, the media and our elected officials. And now that we can see them, we're seeing a whole different picture. And now the American people, well, let me put it this way. Americans with a shred of common sense, 3 brain cells or more, are starting to say, wait a minute, this is ridiculous. We have been lied to, absolutely flat lied to, for the past 26 months. And now that these videos are coming out, many, such as Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, Tom Tillis, Mitt Romney, they're all literally flipping a gasket right now. And many Dems are running around scrambling. Why? Because it's going to they're going to be implicated in this heinous crime against the people that were in D.C. at that time. Okay, I want to read to you an article, and this is from Tucker Carlson, found on foxnews.com. And the reason I chose this is because Tucker has been the guy that's been willing to not just look at all of these videos, but even publish them and put them out there on his program. And you got now Chuck Schumer calling for censure. Check this out. These guys, Chuck Schumer, by the way, is the Senate Majority Leader. So he's not just a senator. He's not just a member of our government, but he's the Senate Majority Leader. So he's even in a higher position. And now he's on the Senate floor calling for and demanding that Tucker Carlson be censored, and demanding that Fox News and the owner of Fox News shut Carlson down and stop him and demand that he stop showing these videos. Well, Chucky baby, what do you have to hide? What do you have to be worried about? If these videos actually show this violent insurgency the way you have claimed for the past 26 months, what do you have to be afraid of? You see, ladies and gentlemen, because I've done a little bit of digging and I found some things out. Did you know that our very own Nancy Pelosi, yes, Auntie Nancy, she was actually the one that was in charge of Capitol security? So, understanding and knowing that there was going to be this rally with upwards of 1 million people. As I said in one of my earlier podcasts, anywhere from 250,000 to about 1 million. So somewhere about 500,000 people showed up. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I don't know, but that's still a lot of people. And Auntie Nancy, was supposed to be in charge of security at the Capitol building and on Capitol Hill and all of that. And she failed. She failed in her duties. As a matter of fact, there's actually been word that says that when they were requesting more security, she denied it. And also, the mayor of D.C., the D.C. mayor, Muriel Bowser, by the way, who is a Democrat, very liberal Democrat, she failed. She was the mayor of D.C., or is the mayor of D.C. since 2015. So she was the mayor at that time, and she failed. Another Democrat, Chuck Schumer, Democrat, failed miserably and is continuing to fail and actually making an absolute fool of himself in front of the American people by demanding censorship of Tucker Carlson and people like him. And then you got Mitch McConnell. He's a Republican, hardly. Tom Tillis, Republican, hardly. And Mitt Romney, a Republican, hardly. All rhinos. And they are like in a tizzy as well. Well, why are these Republicans in a tizzy? Because they're all in cahoots together. That's why we call them rhinos, Republican in name only. They're basically liberal Democrats with the title of Republican and title only. Their voting records, their belief system, where they are, is all liberal Democrat. And they all work together. And there's something that they're all invested in. Liz Cheney is another one that was vested in this. And now all of their lies, their deceit, their cover, the darkness that they were hiding, it's all being exposed. The light of truth is being shown in that area. And now we, the American people, are beginning to realize that not only are they liars, but they're absolute complete failures as Americans and elected officials. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, they were elected to do a job, and they are failing each and every one of us. So the question I have for America, and brace yourself, ladies and gentlemen, especially you who live in one of the districts where these people are your representatives, whether it be Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, Tom Tillis, Mitt Romney, Nancy Pelosi, Muriel Bowser, the mayor, Liz Cheney. Did I say Nancy Pelosi, Aunt Nancy? Any one of them. How in God's name do they keep getting elected in when they are such failures? Not just as elected officials, governmental officials. That's bad enough. But these are failures of human beings, because anybody that can lie and deceive and be traitors to not just you and I, the individuals, but to America as a whole, traitors to America, how can they keep getting voted in? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time that we as Americans truly start opening our eyes and our understanding, take a good look around, get our faces and get our heads out of CNN and all the other mainstream media outlets. Find out what really is going on. Find out the truth. And I have to say, thank you, Tucker Carlson, regardless if you like him or not. That's not even the issue here. That's not why I picked him. I picked him because he seems to be maybe not the only, but one of the few that's willing to actually air and show those videos. And they haven't been cut. They haven't been edited. Because here's the truth. If he edited them, I'm not saying he hasn't cut some out, because he's not going to show, I think they have something like 40,000 hours of video together, cumulatively. He's not going to show 40,000 just straight. He doesn't have enough time in any one of his programs. But he can show some strong clips, and he can just, if anybody's done video, you just cut here, you go down a little bit, you cut there, show that. And that's what he's doing. The rest is unedited. If it was edited, he would be in court, okay? Because that would make him a liar and a deceiver. But because he's not in court, that tells me these are unedited. So if you're watching them on his program, ladies and gentlemen, they're unedited. It's very legal of what he's doing, and it's right, because the American people had the right to know the truth in this regard. Because that Capitol building does not belong to the Democrats. It belongs to you and I, the American people. That Capitol building does not belong to the elected officials. It belongs to you and I, we, the people. So when somebody breaks into the Capitol, they break into our home. We have a right to know who's doing it, how they did it, what's going on, the whole history, everything about it. We have the right to know. And for 26 months, these Democrats and these rhinos in government, these politicians that are only about politics and serving themselves, not about serving you and me, they withheld the truth from us. They've been lying to us. They've been deceiving us. And they've been pushing a narrative that unfortunately so many people in America have bought into, because it was said over and over and over and over again. The Nazis did this. They would claim, the Nazi propagandists would say, if you tell a big enough lie long enough, it becomes the truth. And this nonsense around January 6th has been repeated for 26 long months. And many Americans started buying into it the same way many Europeans and Germans bought into the Nazi lies. So the Democrats and these rhinos in our government take a play from the Nazi playbook, repeat it over and over and over again. Why did they do that? Because unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, it continues to work. Because so few, this is really strange to me, because we have technology literally in our hands. Right here in my fingers is a iPhone. I don't remember if it's an iPhone 13, whatever it is. It's just an iPhone. And I can go on the internet. I can find out all kinds of news. Within 10, 15 minutes, I can be up to date on the major happenings, not just here in our country, but in the world, okay? I can read articles, I can read newspapers, I can read all kinds of things straight from my phone. And so we have this great technology right in front of me. I have a computer. Over there in my bag, I have an iPad. My point is, I have many, many ways that I can get out there and figure out this news and figure out what's going on. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you, this podcast is good. It's going to help you, point you in the right direction, but this is not a news podcast. This is more about me finding things that I want to talk about and going on a rant. And it might help you, but it's not the cure-all for understanding everything that's going on in our world and especially in our country. So please get out there. Get off of CNN. Get off of MSNBC. They're liars. Get off actually all mainstream media. I wouldn't even trust even Fox News. I do trust some people on Fox News, such as Carlson and a few others, but as far as the news network, nah. I just go to it like this in this article. Why? Because again, this is all from Tucker Carlson, and I trust him. But my point is, get out there and really figure out what's going on. Watch some of these videos. And if you don't trust Tucker Carlson, that's fine. Then find those videos somewhere else in an unedited state and watch some of them. Especially the ones that like Tucker Carlson put up there. I was just watching one, and again, he shows clear. These videos speak for themselves clearly how Capitol Police inside the Capitol were escorting people around, even opening doors for them, even checking doors for them. Oh, sorry, you can't go in there. That one's locked. Oh, this one's open. Come on in. And it was almost like they were playing tour guides to these guys. And it wasn't just one. There were several that were just standing around, the police, not doing anything, not bothering anybody, while another guy was walking around and showing everybody what's going on in the Capitol. Hey, over here, check this out, check this out. It was so strange to me, and it goes completely against the narrative that we have been force-fed for 26 months, that everybody just broke in and stormed the Capitol. There was no storming that I saw in that sense. Was there some craziness? Of course there was some craziness. There were some idiots down there causing problems. But the Capitol Police did very little, if anything, to really stop it. As a matter of fact, they were just walking people around like tour guides. So anyways, let me read this article. And it says published March 7th. That was yesterday at 9:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I believe that's about, 6:53, almost 7 o'clock, something like that, or 6 o'clock Pacific Standard, where I'm at. So this isn't even 24 hours old yet. It says Tucker Carlson, the January 6 videos touch a nerve because they threaten Dems lie. Dems short for Democrats. Tucker sounds off on Chuck Schumer's call for censorship. And this is by Tucker Carlson of Fox News. Last night, we aired video from surveillance cameras on Capitol Hill. That video was recorded 26 months to the day before January 6, 2021. And for 26 months, that footage was held from the American public. The January 6 committee made certain. Now the Justice Department also kept a lid on that video footage, and in fact, in some cases, DOJ did not share it with criminal defendants who had been charged in January 6th in violation of their constitutional rights. Let me stop right there. See, ladies, even the Department of Justice of the United States of America withheld this video and the footage of this video from the people that were being charged. That's a violation of their constitutional rights. As a matter of fact, all of them that are down there, not only should they just be released, especially those ones that have been charged and are starting to serve time, they should all be released. Now, I'm not saying that they're all innocent. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I am not saying they're all innocent. And on one hand, they deserve to serve some time. However, in any court, when these types of things happen and it goes against the laws, especially the Constitution, that case is, that trial, it's a mistrial. And they should all be acquitted and released. Whether you like it or not, whether you even agree with it or not, that's what's supposed to happen in these situations. Anyways, let me go on. We felt it was public service to bring what we could to you. There was no justification for keeping the secret any longer, and a powerful argument to be made that sunlight is always and everywhere the best disinfectant. And in fact, because it was video evidence, it is to some extent self-explanatory. Anyone could look at the tape and decide what he or she thinks of it. The tape we showed last night indicated very clearly that Capitol Hill police, in some cases, escorted protesters through the Capitol as if they were giving a tour. They did that with Jacob Chansley, the so-called QAnon shaman. At one point, they even tried to open locked doors for on Chansley's behalf. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I just watched that video before turning on the recorder here, and I watched it and I saw it. There's a Capitol police officer opening doors for this QAnon shaman, and if you've ever seen pictures of him, you know exactly who that is. And there's even one that was locked, and he tried to open it to escort this guy through a locked door. Anyways, Chansley was sentenced to 4 years in prison for his crimes in the Capitol on January 6th, and the video we showed you last night raises the obvious question. Why? On what grounds? The video we showed you last night also showed that Officer Brian Sicknick was not beaten to death with a fire extinguisher by protesters on January 6th, as the media and Liz Cheney so often claimed. The video shows Sicknick walking around the building apparently in good health after he was supposedly killed. I gotta stop there. So we've been told that this Officer Brian Sicknick, was beaten to death with a fire extinguisher by protesters on January 6th. And the media and even Liz Cheney claimed this and pushed that narrative. But these videos clearly show Officer Brian Sicknick walking around the building in good health after he was supposed to be beaten and killed. So ladies and gentlemen, let me put this in perspective. Assume for just a minute they say Officer Brian Sicknick died because he was beaten to death with a fire extinguisher. He died at, say, 2 p.m. But they have video, say, at 3 p.m., showing him walking around healthy. Wouldn't that raise some red flags with you? I mean, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, wouldn't that make you stop and go, something is not right here? Because check this out. For 26 months, they withheld the video from you and me, from the American people, and even those people being charged. But they had the video. They watched the video. They saw the video. And they still lied. So it wasn't like they just made a mistake because they didn't see the video. They didn't make a mistake. They knew exactly what they were doing and why they were doing it. They had an agenda. Here's the problem. They didn't think that anybody would release these videos so that their lies could continue. But they knew exactly what they were doing. I mean, think about it. If you had saw those videos 26 months ago, and you clearly saw the timestamps and you knew the times that a person passes away, where he's seen walking around, and you know this gentleman at 3 was still alive and well, would you go around telling people that he died at 2 Well, I don't think you would, because you're not that deceitful or a liar. But if you were deceitful, if you were a liar, and you didn't think anybody else would ever see these videos, and you had a certain agenda to push, and you needed him to be dead at 2 and even beaten by protesters, didn't matter what the truth is, you would push that agenda. Now, I know you wouldn't. I'm just saying that, that kind of person would. But that tells you what kind of people these are. The Chuck Schumers, the Liz Cheneys, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Mitch McConnells, the Tom Tillis's, and the Mitt Romneys. All of these people, they saw the video. They knew what was in the video. They knew the truth, and they still chose to lie to you and to me and to all their constituents and all the people that voted for them. Ladies and gentlemen, these are true traitors to the United States. These are the true traitors to the United States. Regardless of what you may or may not think of the people that went into the Capitol building on January 6th. Okay, you could say, well, they're traitors. Okay, I'm not even going to argue with you. But certainly, most certainly, 100%, the people that saw the video knew the truth and still came out and lied to you and I, pushing some agenda to you and me, the American people. Those are the true traitors. Those are the true traitors to the United States. Traitors to you and I. Traitors to the country that you and I live in, our home, the country that we love, the United States of America. Chuck Schumer, you are a traitor. Mitch McConnell, you are a traitor. Tom Tillis, you are a traitor. Mitt Romney, you are a traitor. Nancy Pelosi, you are a traitor. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, you are a traitor. And as far as I'm concerned, they should all be rounded up, and people like them. I know they're not the only ones. They should all be rounded up and taken to court on the basis of being traitors. And they should be tried to the fullest extent, or punished, I should say, to the fullest extent of the law, whatever that may be, as traitors, because that's what they truly are. Let me try to finish this. The video shows Sicknick walking around the building, apparently in good health, after he was supposedly killed. We showed you that video. You can make of it what you will. We also showed you video that proves Ray Epps, the mysterious protester who encouraged others to breach the Capitol, lied to the January 6th committee about where he was on that day. But for some reason, the committee protected him anyway. He was not considered an insurrectionist. He was their ally. Let me read that again, okay? Because some of you may have not even heard this name or heard about this, because again, everything was so shrouded in strange mystery and shadows and darkness, and even though they pushed a narrative, some of these things weren't really out in the forefront the way at least they should have been. And by the way, I could have put media up there and said the media. I'm not going to say everybody in media, but in large part, the media are traitors to the United States of America. Let me read this again. We also showed you video that proves Ray Epps, the mysterious protester who encouraged others to breach the Capitol, lied to the January 6th committee about where he was on that day. But for some reason, the committee protected him anyway. He was not considered an insurrectionist. He was their ally. Why would Tucker Carlson call him an ally? Because, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Here's this supposed guy out there, part of this rally, part of the protest, and what he's doing is he's going around, and instead of going and breaching the Capitol himself, I don't know whether he ever went in or not, but if he did, before he did, he's encouraging all these other protesters, yeah, let's go break in, you can do this, go through that door, break in that door, do this, pushing people to do it, inviting people to do it, encouraging people to do this, to break the law. And then when he's brought before the January 6th committee, he absolutely flat lies to them, which is, by the way, illegal. I believe they call that contempt of court. I have to look that up. But nonetheless, flat lied to the committee about where he was that day, but they protect him. Now, you have to ask yourself, why would they protect him? Well, this is just a guess. I'm not saying he did or was or wasn't, but this is just my guess, and this is just an idea I'm floating for all you common sense kind of people. In a situation like that, you would have to ask yourself, why? Why would they protect him? Well, maybe he was actually working with the people behind it, who are now all part of, in one way or another, the January 6th committee, and all the people that, was maybe trying to destroy the image of our president, Donald J. Trump, and trying to destroy the image of true conservative patriots that were there to support our president and the American way of life and the words of our Constitution and the words of our Bill of Rights. See, they don't like that. Democrats don't like the Constitution, except when they can try to use it for themselves. But in all, they don't really like it because it gets in their way. They don't like conservatism, especially Bible-based conservatism. By the way, all true conservatism is based in the Word of God, and they hate God, and they hate the Word of God. That's why at the DNC, at a Democrat convention, God was actually booed. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can Google it. God is booed at the DNC. Google it, and you'll find it, and you'll see it. God that has made this country what it is, and made this country great, was booed by the Democrats. So that's why, in my honest, humble opinion, of why they did not charge Ray Epps, the mysterious protester, who was encouraging others to breach the Capitol. Well, because he was working with them. It's my opinion. Let me go on reading this. So once again, you can draw whatever conclusions you like from the video. We have ours, and we shared them with you. It is really beyond debate. That is good for this country, for Americans to be able to see it. The media and politicians, the people in charge, have talked about January 6th every day since it happened for 26 months, and so charged have talked about January 6th every day since it happened for 26. I already read that, didn't I? And so at some point, the evidence should be presented to the public. In free countries, governments do not lie about protests as a pretext to gain more power for themselves. They don't selectively edit videos for propaganda services and then lie about them and fake hearings and show trials. But that's exactly what happened, and every member of Congress should ask why that happened. But Democrats in the Senate, the Democratic leader of the Senate, Chuck Schumer, is not asking why. Instead, Chuck Schumer went on the Senate floor today to explode and to say that showing that video evidence of wrongdoing by the federal government, including the security forces, the police department, that Nancy Pelosi personally controlled, letting the public see any of that is a threat to democracy. So Chuck Schumer actually believes that when we watch, or we have proof, and we watch video and we have proof of the failure of all of these Democrats that are in charge of these things, their failure and us understanding their failure and us seeing their failure is a threat to democracy. In a way, he's sort of right. It's a threat, but not to democracy. It's a threat to the tyrants who use democracy as a cloak, as smoke and mirrors for their tyranny. So in that sense, he's right, and I would agree with him. But because I agree with them in that sense, is all the more reason why you and I should see these types of videos and know these things up front. We should have known this 26 months ago. It should not have taken over 2 years to release this. This should have been released. The moment they watched and they figured out really what was going on, they should have been released. So what? A week? Tops in its fullness. And it's been over 2 years. So let me read something here. I'm going to finish with this because this is now Chuck Schumer speaking, being quoted. Last night, millions of Americans tuned in to one of the most shameful hours we have ever seen on cable television. Fox News host Tucker Carlson ran a lengthy segment last night arguing the January 6th Capitol attack was not a violent insurrection. I don't think I've ever seen a primetime cable news anchor manipulate his viewers the way Mr. Carlson did last night. I don't think I've ever seen an anchor treat the American people and American democracy with such disdain. Well, let me back up just a moment on this. He says, I don't think I've ever seen a primetime cable news anchor manipulate his viewers the way Mr. Carlson did last night. Okay, I completely disagree with him. All he's got to do is watch 10 minutes of CNN. But nonetheless, let's assume for just a moment that is true, that Tucker Carlson actually manipulated his viewers. And he's never seen a primetime cable news anchor do this like Mr. Carlson did last night. But ladies and gentlemen, maybe he's never seen a cable news anchor do this before, but he's been part of the Senate. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, he's been part of the Senate for many years. He's been on the Senate floor. He runs with fellow Democrats and very liberal people, even Republicans that act more like Democrats. So he has seen maybe not cable news anchors such as Tucker Carlson do this, but he has seen many people in high-ranking places manipulate, lie, and deceive people all the time. As a matter of fact, that's what he's been doing for 26 months. Not only for 26 months, but he was doing it before then. We're just talking about this one incident, this one thing, January 6th, over 2 years ago. And they've been lying to us ever since, including Chuck Schumer. I almost said Shoemaker, but that's not his name. Schumer. Been lying to us. So get off your high horse, Mr. Schumer. Get off your high horse. Tucker Carlson did not lie or manipulate anybody. But even if he did, I guess you could say he learned from the best. Maybe he watched you. Maybe he watched Nancy Pelosi. Maybe he watched Mitch McConnell or Mitt Romney. Huh? You ever think of that? You know, you can't stand up there and do it your entire career without expecting others to learn from you and do it. And by the way, I don't think Tucker Carlson manipulated anybody. He showed us the truth. Let me go on. He says, there's nothing that shameful that has ever appeared on American television in the history of the media. Oh my gosh, this guy is like batty loony. You know what? The Democrat Party, I used to think it was just Joe Biden that was dealing with some mental issues and Alzheimer's or dementia or something. I think the entire Democrat Party has collective dementia. I'm serious. He says this, and I quote, there's nothing that shameful that has ever appeared on American television in the history of the media. All you got to do is watch some of the videos from some of his speeches or Nancy Pelosi's speeches. That's 100 times worse than anything Tucker Carlson could even make up or try to do. Anyways, let's go on. And so on the basis of that, the self-evident outrage of showing the public video that it paid for and has a right to see, Chuck Schumer called for the censorship of that video. Any information, and he did not dispute that it was accurate. By the way, he did not dispute or say it was inaccurate, okay? The damage is a storyline his party constructed and used must be squelched. And Schumer's explicit on that point because that video contradicted lies told by the Democratic Party, Liz Cheney, Adam Zinzinger. Chuck Schumer demanded that our bosses pull this show off the air. I mean, again, the hypocrisy is laughable. Chucky baby, the hypocrisy you are showing is absolutely laughable. And again, it's laughable on one hand, and yet it's a sick joke because it's not even funny. The lies that you have been telling for 26 months is absolutely disgusting. Okay, let me go on. Schumer again. He's going to come back tonight with another segment. Fox News should tell him not to. Fox News, Rupert Murdoch, tell Carlson not to run a second segment of lies. I urge Fox News to order Carlson to cease propagating the big lie on his network and to level with their viewers about the truth behind the efforts to mislead the public. Conduct like theirs is just asking for another January 6th to happen. No, Mr. Schumer, it isn't. Conduct like theirs is exposing the truth of your failed leadership, your failed behavior, your lies, your deceit, and it's your lies and it's your deceit that could lead to another January 6th happen. Only this time it could be. I pray to God not, but it could be far worse than the first one, because people in America are starting to finally get fed up with people like you, Aunt Nancy, Mitch McConnell, Tim Tillis, Mitt Romney, and the list can go on. So Chuck Schumer, Senate Majority Leader, Democrat, maybe you should just sit down and shut up. Maybe you should resign. Maybe you should go away. Because if you resign, if you go away and you get out from behind that podium and that microphone, it's a good day in America. It's a great day in America. If you just sit down and shut up, go away. Let's go on. This article goes on to say, those videos which we did not retouch, which we brought to you after running everyone by the Capitol Police to make certain that we didn't imperil anybody. And we told you last night, those videos touch a nerve because they're a threat to the lies that Chuck Schumer has been telling for the last 26 months. And not just Chuck Schumer. We should also tell you that Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader, was joined in his outrage by Senate Minority Leader, and that would be Republican Mitch McConnell. And they were joined by a cascade of other Republicans, Tom Tillis from North Carolina, Mitt Romney from Utah, all sharing the same outrage. And from this, we learned two things. One, you're getting close to what they really care about, and you have to ask yourself why. Why is it so important that they would degrade themselves by telling such obvious lies and calling for censorship? Why? What are they trying to protect? That might be worth exploring, and we plan to. And the second thing that we learn from this is that they're on the same side. The Senate Majority Leader joins the Senate Minority Leader, Tom Tillis, Mitt Romney. They're all on the same side. So it's actually not about left and right. It's not about Republican and Democrat. Here you have people with shared interests, the open borders, the people like Mitch McConnell who are living in splendor on Chinese money, the people who underneath it all have everything in common, are all aligned against everyone else, and that would include almost all news organizations in this country as well. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, they're working together. They have shared interests. And much of it, yes, this is all proven stuff. This is not, he's another conspiracy theorist. No, I am not the new QAnon shaman, to say the least. This is not conspiracy. This is just the truth. These guys are living fat and large, okay? And some of them living off of Chinese money, other illegal things, other things of that nature. So they need to protect what is dear to them. They're fat cash cows. And somehow, some way, this has become something they need to protect. Well, they need to now because they've lied about it so long. If they don't protect it, what they're doing then is admitting to all the lies that they have been telling for the last over 2 years. Let me go on. So if you're watching, this might be kind of interesting to keep a list, because one thing we learned today is that they're all in agreement with each other. They kind of outed themselves. They sort of showed their membership cards and whatever club this is to the public. So keep a list. If you want to know who's actually aligned, despite the illusion of partisanship, we found out today. We have a little more tape for you tonight. If you take 3 steps back, you may notice that the one person really who was never blamed for anything that happened on January 6th was the very same person who was in charge of the police force, the Capitol Hill Police, that was charged with securing safety on January 6th, and that person was Nancy Pelosi. If there was a security failure on January 6th, and demonstrably there was, it was probably Nancy Pelosi's fault. And after looking at thousands of hours of footage, we came to the conclusion that many others have reached, which is the Capitol Police were not prepared for what happened. And that's fascinating when you think about it, because there was ample warning. The federal intel and law enforcement agencies knew perfectly well there could be a massive disturbance at the Capitol, but the frontline officers on duty that day didn't know, and yet the people who kept that information from the frontline officers were overwhelmed by thousands of people milling around the Capitol building. The people who fell down on the job, who didn't do their job, they were not punished. They were rewarded. And you have to ask yourself, why? Why is that? And again, that was from Tucker Carlson, and he currently serves as the host of Fox News channel Tucker Carlson Tonight, and that's weekdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So again, I want to ask that question, why? Why were the people who fell down on the job, why were the people that failed miserably in this, why were they rewarded? Why were there Capitol Police and officers that supposedly committed suicide or died within days of this event? Why were there Capitol Police playing tour guides to people that supposedly, violently broke into the Capitol building? Why were there so many inconsistencies? Why have we been lied to for over 2 years by a group of people that should have been just forthcoming and put those videos out 2 years ago? Why? You see, ladies and gentlemen, we take things for granted here in the United States of America because most of us understand Bill of Rights, we understand the words of the Constitution, we understand our rights as Americans, as human beings, and as Americans, and we take it for granted sometimes, actually believing, foolishly, but still believing, that our government officials are going to be the ones that help protect. We know that they're supposed to, but they're supposed to protect our rights, protect the Constitution, follow the Constitution, and benefit all of us who are Americans because of the words of the Constitution, our Bill of Rights and such. But in reality, whether it be Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, Tom Tillis, Mitt Romney, Nancy Pelosi, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, or a host of others in these positions, you don't have far to look. You don't have to look very hard to realize these people do not care about you and I. They really don't care about the United States of America. They don't care about our Constitution. They don't care about the Bill of Rights. They don't care about anything that makes the United States of America great. What they care about is themselves. And they, in a weird way, care about the United States of America, but not being the United States of America as it's supposed to be. They want to recreate, they want to destroy first the United States of America as we know it, so that they can recreate the United States of America in their image. And that means, as we see with their actions now, they don't want to be called on anything. They want to be in positions that they'll never be questioned. They can get away with anything that they want at any time they want. They want to have all the money and all the power that they can glean and they can grab themselves. They don't care about you and I. They don't even care about the truth. They really don't care about anything except themselves, their position. They work together. And the only reason why they'll work together is to benefit themselves. These people are wicked, evil, liars, deceitful, and they're traitors to the United States of America. And the reality of it, the wrong people are on trial. The wrong people are being tried. The wrong people are being imprisoned. The wrong people. It should be them. It should be Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell. They should be on trial. Tom Tillis, Mitt Romney, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. They should all be on trial. And notice, this isn't all just about Democrats. However, this is from the Democrat playbook. But many Republicans who act like Democrats, they should all be on trial because they're breaking laws. They're going against the Constitution. They're throwing it out the window. And again, for what? For their own purposes. What they want and how they want it. So, ladies and gentlemen, on all of that, I hope that there truly, truly is a revolution. Again, I am not saying run out there and arm yourselves. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's time. It's past time, actually, but it's time for the American people, those God-fearing, country-loving, nation-loving patriots to rise up and say enough's enough. We're not going to put up with this anymore. Chuck Schumer, go away. Mitch McConnell, go away. Tom Tillis, go away. Mitt Romney, you really need to go away. Nancy Pelosi, she's supposed to be resigning, thank God. But nonetheless, we just desperately need her to go away. People like Gavin Newsom, go away. People like D.C. Mayor, go away. And all of these ones who are corrupt, who lie, who are full of deceit, go away. And Americans, I'm going to ask you, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to rise up and say enough's enough? What are you going to do about it? How are you going to do? How are you going to let your voice be heard? Number one, first and foremost, you just got to set it square in your heart that these people will never be reelected. So it's got to take place at the voting box as well. But what else are you going to do? Talk about it. Make sure everybody sees these videos. Make sure everybody understands that we all have been lied to. Make sure everybody understands that these ones have actually kind of formed a coup against you and me. Don't stand for it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's let our voices be heard. Enough is enough. Thank you again for joining us at Table Flippers. Please check out our merchandise. We have hats, hoodies, water bottles, all kinds of cool things. You can find all of our merchandise at tableflippers.com. That's tableflippers.com. And please write me. Please let me know how I'm doing. Write me at gwccrobert, that's one word, gwccrobert@gmail.com. Give me the good letters, give me the bad letters, tell me the great things I'm doing, tell me the bad things I'm doing. I want to hear it all. Have a great day.
Table Flippers is flipping awesome.